honor to be here and to be with very familiar people, very familiar faces. I always cherish our brotherhood, our friendship, and our lovely communication that we used to have and we're still having nowadays, especially as Syria is undergoing a real war. While Syria was undergoing a real war, we never felt that we are alone in Syria. We always felt that we have our brothers and sisters and sister churches and sister organizations that not only are praying for us, also they are standing firm for us, and they are allocating some money, they are allocating some material benefits and mercies, and you are always very generously sending it to our churches so that we'll help our people, our Syrian Armenian people, to sustain in a real war situation. I am so happy and honored by this invitation, especially as Zaven Khanjian is the, in Arabic we say the dynamo, which is the fire and the man who has the pace for Armenians all over the world, especially for Armenians in the Near East. And I would shed light on the Syrian Armenian subject. And not only that, Zaven is the son and the young man of the Aleppo. He has taken so much. He drank from Aleppo's water, and he had his preparation also faith-wise and ecclesiologically and nation-wise from Aleppo. He is now serving as the CEO and the executive director of Armenian Missionary Association of America. Zaven, and the timing of becoming a Zaven as the first man, I would say that the heroic position that you are occupying today in AMAA and through AMAA in our community, that this timing is a godly timing. Not only that the board of directors or board of trustees has invited Zaven for this job or elected Zaven to do this job, you are prepared in mind and in heart, and this preparation is because of God. God has this timing. Otherwise, we would have been in a different place. I would bring the warm greetings of our suffered people, Armenian people of Syria. And this warm greetings is mixed with thanks and with satisfaction for all that you have done. Maybe you will be very much interested to know some ideas and to get some impressions about how the Armenian Syrian community is living and passing through what type of situations. I will try to present to you something which is very much on my heart. To me, it's very special to be here with you all, as I said, and talk about my home country, which I love so, so very much. What I am going to tell you is the way and my family, my wife, Shoak, and my two children, Armani Hera and Arno Giorgio, also all my Syrian Armenian community has experienced and still experience the horrendous war raging in our beloved Syria since 4.5 years. Yes, it all started in March 2011. Looking at the terrible statistics of this war makes me depressed. I just don't want to believe that half of my countrymen, almost 12 million, are now either outside the borders of Syria, almost 5 million of them, and another 7 million are displaced within Syria. And Armenians, there are only 8,000 of us left in Aleppo nowadays, out of at least 80,000. We are all shocked by all that happened and took place in Syria. Yes, not only shocked, but alarmed that the evil has taken such proportions. Because war is evil, and sometimes we feel that during the worst days of the war in Aleppo, we can even touch evil. May God have mercy on us all. What was written in the Bible some 3,000 years ago is true about us today. Quote, "You will find no peace anywhere, no place to call your own. The Lord will overwhelm you with anxiety, hopelessness, and despair." And living like this, we are so desperately in need of hope. And our only real hope is in Him, and Him alone. Yes, it says in 1 Timothy in the New Testament, we struggle and work hard because we have placed our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all, and especially of those who believe. Yes, as we look forward, no reason for optimism. The latest news from Aleppo is that there is no water in the taps, and the shelling still continues. But it does make you appreciate the small things of life and rejoice that you are still alive after yet another night of terrible shelling. With no hope, what to do? And with no hope, what do you tell your dear friends after another explosion took place in Aleppo last week? Who can forget the terrible explosion of a building close to our Bethel Church and our home and our school on the 11th of April of this year? The whole area shook as if there had been an earthquake with 10 on the Richter scale. We could hear the people shouting and crying. Mothers were looking for their children and screaming from pain from their own wounds. Hell was so close to us that we believed we had ended up there. This violence reaches right into every corner of our country. Every community, whether Muslim, Alawite, Christian, or Durzi, suffers. Nobody can escape. Rumors can almost kill, and they put much fear into our already fearful minds. Recently, we heard rumors that our area, the Selimian area of Aleppo, was going to be targeted with explosions. Everybody was talking about it, and we were wondering what we could do to prevent yet another disaster. But instead, within a few days, another area in western Aleppo was struck. Dozens lost their lives, with hundreds of wounded. Incredible destruction. Yes, this is our dear city of Aleppo. Aleppo is like a moon landscape. I'm sure you are interested in what has happened to the Armenian community in Syria, and Aleppo in particular. Every Armenian community has suffered, but no Armenian community has been attacked the way the Armenians of Kesap were in March 2014. This shook us to the core. We had lost that last little piece of Cilicia. To see the Kesaptsis once more driven out of their towns and villages. Just too much. The people were missing their land, their flowers, their fruit trees. Yes, the very soil under their feet, as if Kesap was holy ground. Precious people so close to nature and to God. Do we as Armenians tend to choose gloom and doom instead of cheerfulness and hope? Maybe, and this explains why we could hardly believe the news on that Sunday in June last year, when we heard that the Syrian army had liberated Kesap, and that the Kesaptsis started moving back to their often destroyed houses and burned out churches and schools. This was the third time since 1909 that all Kesaptsis had to leave their homes and land, which had been their only livelihood for centuries. Living with the displaced people of Kesap reminded us of the long years of suffering of our forefathers went through during Armenian genocide. The scars were once more open, and it was the heaviest blow that anybody could ever have given to an Armenian, and coming from Turkey yet again. I know that many of you cherish your beautiful memories, unforgettable memories of Aleppo. Yes, Aleppo is not ours only. It's certainly yours as well. The city of salvation for the Armenians from all cities, towns, and villages of Turkey after the Armenian genocide. Yes, Aleppo is the city where orphans married one another and created new Armenian families with hope for the future. It has always spoken to my heart to realize that the Armenian family structure had been so strong that even orphans could create a family. Isn't that a miracle of God? By providing schooling, frequent religious and cultural events, we have done our utmost to provide some kind of quality of, and as long as we can breathe, we'll not stop doing our best to our community in Aleppo. And you certainly, you as AMAA, you as Board of Directors of AMAA, you as family members of AMAA, played an important role in making this possible. Thank you all. God blesses those people who make peace. They will be called His children. Today we don't need more weapons and more awesome and sophisticated kind of bombs. We need peacemakers. Yes, I believe that we Armenians are part of the beautiful mosaic of the Middle East. I also believe that we are the light of this world, and we don't want the Middle East to be engulfed with even more darkness. Yes, I believe that our beloved Syria still needs us, and that we play an important role in the future, rebuilding our own country, Syria. We want to be there to see it happen. As an Armenian Christian leader, and when I say Christian, I mean a true follower of Jesus Christ, I cannot see that I, with a good conscience, can leave my country in such a confused state without doing my utmost to help Syria to find its way back to sanity. Yes, it hurts me to say this. We as community leaders cannot promise a land of milk and honey, but we can promise to be right there. That's our only message at this time. We hope to stay close to our people. Waiting for that great day when peace will return to our torn apart country, Syria. And we have tested God. We have tested God's patience. We in Aleppo, we challenged God, and we keep challenging God every day. We're challenging His grace and mercy to the maximum. And by that time, we trust that we'll have learned much more about his love and faithfulness and be able to say that indeed God is merciful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for praying. Thank you for donating. Thank you all.
Well, I've known Reverend Selimian for a few years now, and he's always been highly regarded as a leader of the evangelical community in Syria, but also as a leader of the Armenian community, and even the greater community. Now, of course, we have one of the great humanitarian crises in the world, in Syria, in Aleppo. And, you know, as someone said today, God seems to have chosen the right person for the right place for the right time. Old-timers will tell you that when their parents or grandparents were driven into the desert, some of them say the Syrians were there welcoming them with water and with food. And this is part of our legacy. The younger Syrians will tell you, you know, we live in an apartment building with Syrian Muslims who tell us that they are proud to have Armenians living with them. And so, of course, Reverend Selimian comes here and the first words out of his mouth are, I love Syria. We love Syria. Syrian Armenians love Syria. Syrian Armenians in the diaspora love Aleppo, love Syria. We learned today that the evangelical community of Aleppo is sponsoring schools that are composed entirely of Arab Muslims. And why? Because the community there has been, in the past, so intertwined that Armenians were able to practice their faith and thrive. And that's all the Armenians asked for. So now we have this great, young, handsome, charismatic leader who says, the Armenians are leaving. I will be the last one to leave. He has said, as long as there is one Armenian in Aleppo, I will be there. And this is a man with children and a man whose sacrifices cannot be underestimated.